Miller, you're gonna have to move. You're gonna have to move once I start rolling. Can't have any distractions. This is a very serious video today. Skedaddle. That means leave. Be gone, be free, or just sit and stare. Okay, that's how it's gonna be. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the channel. My name's Garrett. If you're new here, thanks for dropping by. And if you're not new here, thanks for coming back. It's always good to have returning viewers. And today I want to talk about something that's pretty popular right now on the platform of Instagram, and that is Reels. And I wanted to dive into the editing process for a reel that we shot for one of our clients. We have really been pushing Reels lately for a lot of our retainer work, just because Instagram, as you guys know, the algorithm is favoring anything video related. Not to say that Instagram hates photos now, but they're really pushing anything related to Reels and stories. So those are the things that we're now presenting to our retainer business to help them grow their brand. So the reel that we're actually going to break down and edit today is for one of our fitness clients, Star Fitness in Elizabethton, Tennessee. If you're in the area, hit them up. They have done a completely new revamp of the facility. They have a lot of programs that are available. So yeah, if you're in East Tennessee or surrounding areas, check out Star Fitness. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into it.
In the paddock in my piece, I'm pushing feet. Cop new helmets for my piece. We don't want no peace. Got a spot across the map, just for peace. Drop the data, now we plant beside the peas.
Okay, so we're in Premiere Pro, and I've already got the clips chopped up to the beat of the song. This is going to be an 18-second reel. Most of the reels that I'm trying to shoot are between 15 and 20 seconds for this customer. Kind of the deal that they agreed on and that they like, so that's what we're doing for them, is between 15 20 seconds per reel. Not done any coloring to this clip other than just our vlog to Rec 709 conversion LUT. Not going to go into any extensive detail on color grading today or any detail. I really want to focus on the edit and the sound effects and stuff that we use to bring this reel to life. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to let this play through just so you can kind of hear the beat of the song and see what we're chopping everything up to. So we have him riding on the bike. He then switches to doing the row machine or a ski machine. Pretty cool little device. Going to do some muscle ups into normal rows, normal seated rows. And this is the attack runner, I believe they call it. It's basically a super fast treadmill. And then from there we have just the pull out from that same shot. So obviously we've got some speed ramping to do to get these clips to match the song. So we're gonna go ahead and start diving in with our cut. We shot everything in 60p. I'm gonna go ahead and let that cut right there and leave that the same. With this clip, I went ahead and sped it up to 200% to make it more real-time looking, even though it was shot in 60 frames. And just so you guys know, we are shooting on a 24 frame timeline, so this is real time. Cut to the muscle up. And for the muscle up, I am gonna go ahead and do a speed ramp. And the reason for that is it takes him a little while to get up there. This guy's name is Knox, he's a pretty cool guy. It takes him a while to get up there, so we're actually gonna chop this to the beat. We're gonna go ahead and go to our time remapping and speed. Hit P to add a point. I'm gonna go ahead and extend that and expand that window right there so that we can see what we're doing with this clip. So right about there is where I want it to really speed up, just to kind of help him get up on the muscle ups. We're gonna go ahead and add a point right there. Pull those tabs apart from each other. And we'll hit V to select again, and we're going to go ahead and pull that up once again about 200% just to make it real-time looking. Let's see if that works. Oh, I need to slide that back some. There we go. That kind of helped him get up a little bit faster than what he initially did. I personally cannot do muscle ups. I think they're just a wreckage of my shoulders. So we're also going to chop this up to that little doo-doom beat as well. So that bass beat right there, we're gonna go ahead and chop it just to make some forward progress on the clip. So we're gonna make a cut right there with S and go a little further. Go ahead and hit S again, or you can hit W to go ahead and ripple it back to that other clip. Okay, awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and bring our next clip in to the beat here, and this is him doing the rows. And we're going to speed ramp this one as well because it takes him a while to get to that little point right there. And this is where I added in the whip sound, the cracking of the whip sound. And we're going to add our sound effects here in a second. Let that play through. So I really want that whip to crack kind of on that snare beat. So I'm going to keep that in mind with my sound effects, but for now we're going to go ahead and we're going to speed ramp this as well. So we're going to remapping speed, add a point right here, pull those away from each other. I'm going to bump this up, I think about 200%, just once again to make it real time, and we can actually stretch this out now. And yeah, so that's actually about perfect. Even though the whip is not where I want it, we can back that up. We can back that up just a little bit so that the whip kind of cracks where that chain pops from the row machine. There we go, so that's pretty close right there. Yep, okay, and then we're gonna cut that on the actual beat. So I'm gonna get kind of microscopic here and back that up. Yeah, bring in our next clip. This one was on the attack runner, so we're gonna go ahead and speed that up because this orbit around the runner itself takes a little longer than what I would like it to. So we're gonna go ahead and go to our time remapping. We're gonna go to speed and go ahead and make our point. Pull those across from each other. Hit our V to select that. We're gonna drag that up. I'm gonna say about 400%. I want this one to be pretty fast, and the reason for that is we're gonna slow it right back down here in a second. So we'll go 400%, drag that to where it's coming back down some to the normal slow motion. And I wanted to slow down before that. I wanted to slow down whenever we're right in the middle and his shoes are kind of kicking up in the shot. Yeah. And I might even bring these little tails in a little bit, just so the ramp itself is a little more exaggerated. And then we're gonna make another point and speed this one back up. So we're gonna hit our P, make a point and drag these tails across from each other, hit V again, push that up to 400%. I want it to be nice and speedy. Yep, and can drag that out a little further just so it snaps on the beat. Yep, awesome. Okay, so now to our last shot, and this is just the pull out where I'm coming from the running shot to Knox, still on the trainer, but we are pulling out to kind of end the sequence here. I'm gonna go ahead and clip that to where it ends on the beat. We're gonna add a dip, and we're gonna shorten that dip. Awesome. So that is the edit itself to the beat. Now let's add some sound effects. First one that I'm gonna use is because he's on this bike here, it's a stationary bike, I've already got my sound pulled up for that, or I've got it over here in the sound bin. So let's go here. And we have mountain bike pass by. This is the one that I used. However, because it is in slow motion, I had to slow the audio down itself just to kind of accentuate that sound. We're gonna hit our ins and out points there, drag that down, and I want to slow it down. I'm gonna say to about 50%. So if you guys see, I want the sound to match the motion of his arms. So there's the first one, and then we're just gonna copy this by hitting Alt and dragging it down. Maybe slide that over a tad. Yep. So now it sounds like he's actually rowing and pedaling on that stationary bike. Then we have the ski trainer. This is a really cool machine, I like it. So for this one, I had to think kind of creatively and imagine what actually sounds like this machine, and it just so happens to be a zip line, which is pretty funny. So same thing with the zip line sound. We go ahead and pull it in here. I already have my in and out point set on that. So we're gonna pull this in, and I'm just gonna try to match it to his arms pulling it down. So we have that one there, that's the first pull. So I'm gonna scoot this over. Maybe slide it over a little more. There it is. And then we're gonna cut that, and we're gonna bring in a duplicate behind it to get that second motion in there. Slide that over some more. I want him to match his arm movements here. Okay, now I do want that to go into this clip, and the reason for that is that sound is still going to continue, that way there's not just an abrupt stop. So with these right here, I'm going to add what's called a exponential fade effect. And you can just search fade or exponential fade because I want that to kind of fade in and then fade out. I'm going to put it at the beginning and at the end. Slide that over a little bit. And same thing here, we're going to fade it out. So there it fades in, fades back in and out. And I didn't really want to put anything in here. There's no really sound effects that I believe would make it better of a clip. And it's not a very long clip anyways. The one that I really wanted to focus on was this right here, this row machine, because it actually did have some sounds all its own. It's chain driven, so you can actually hear that chain whenever Knox is rowing it. So for that, I just went over and I searched for chain movements, chain clanks, anything that I could find that was chain related. And this is what I came up with for the chains. So we have just the sound of it, almost like a chain door rolling up, like a chain garage door. And so we want that to kind of move the whole length of this clip right here, because those chains are constantly moving anyways. So let me get those to where they come in, back this up. All right, then we're gonna hit kind of a whoosh, and we're gonna make this a slow-mo whoosh. So I want that to kind of elevate up in volume. So once again, we're gonna slow it down because this is in slow motion. I can get that to pull over. All right, so we're gonna slow that down. I'm gonna say about 50%. I want it to sound slow, and whenever you slow these down, the pitch also goes down. Awesome. We might even go 30% on this. Yep. And then we're gonna bring in the whip sound. Let me make sure that that lines up with his motion. I'm gonna go a little further over. Yep. And then we want the whip crack whenever that chain pops. You can see that chain kind of hit the wave right there, and at the beginning of that wave, that's where I want that whip crack to hit. So we're gonna go to our whip, and I'm gonna bring that in, and we're gonna line it up with that pop right there. So we need to scoot that over pretty far actually. There it is. I might even slow that down as well, just to make that whipping sound, or just to make that crack a little bit lower pitched. Yep, awesome. So that's almost perfect right there. All right, moving on to the Assault Trainer. So once again, we're gonna hit some treadmill sounds. Treadmill here. We actually wanna speed up the sound of the treadmill right here, so we're gonna speed that up probably to about 400%. Make it nice and quick sounding because he is running pretty fast when it's sped up, obviously. Now, once we actually slow this down, I want this treadmill sound to be accentuated again with a slower, lower pitch sound. So we're gonna take that same treadmill sound and we're gonna duplicate it, pull it over, and we're going to go to speed, slow it down to 50%. And I'm gonna up the sound of that and mute our music track just so we can hear that pretty well. Move that down and over, and I want those footsteps to line up. So that actually lined up pretty well as it was. I'm gonna pull that over. So we got fast running, boom, boom. Might even slow that down a little bit more just to make it line up better. Go 40%. Awesome, so that's lining up. We're gonna take that back now and we're gonna speed it back up. So we're just gonna duplicate that sound, pull it over, and that should get us to the end of that clip. And finally, our last clip here is once again just a slow motion sound of him running on the Assault Runner here. So we're going to duplicate our slow treadmill, drag that over, and as long as those steps look like they match up, we should be good. So that matches up now. Let's go and finesse this a little bit. So I always like to do kind of a rough edit with my sound, and now we're gonna finesse them, do our fade ins, our fade outs, just so everything kind of meshes. We don't want anything to sound choppy. So I'm gonna do a lot of exponential fades here. We're gonna fade in on both of our stationary bike sounds here. I'm gonna pull that fade back, pull that fade back a little bit as well. I'm gonna fade this one out, pull that over. Now on our actual treadmill sounds here, I'm gonna use a different effect called constant power. Because these are right beside each other, there's no need to fade them in and out. So we're just going to go ahead and hit constant power here in between clips or in between sound bits. We're going to go constant power there in between sound bits, kind of squeeze that a little bit, and constant power here between these sound bits as well. Let's go over here to our fade. Go over here to our chain sounds. We're going to go ahead and fade those in. And we're going to lower the sound of our whip crack. And I think that does it. So that's kind of a rough draft. Obviously there's more finessing to do, but you get an idea of the structure of how I edited this reel. And once again, I'm not going to go into color grading. The actual color grading for this was very easy. I did my conversion, I did my saturation, my contrast adjustments, and then I actually used a finishing LUT from Color Grading Central. Huge fan of Denver Riddle and the LUT packs that he has, so very simple grading process for this one, guys. That is the editing process for this particular video. Obviously, there's a million different ways to edit an Instagram reel. Some people may think that it's overkill to shoot everything on a camera and then post it to Instagram, but we are trying to make the content for our customers look a little bit higher level than what somebody may shoot on their phone. Me personally, as a business owner, I can't go to another business owner and say, hey, let me shoot your content on my iPhone. Not that you can't make great content on an iPhone, but I want to try to make a distinctive separation between the content that is shot on a phone versus what a video production company can shoot for you with what we have. But I do want to know your thoughts. If you're putting reels out on Instagram, are you doing it with your mobile device, or are you taking some time and doing it with a DSLR or any other sort of camera rig? Would love to know that down in the comments below. Also, as always, guys, thank you for being a part of this community here on YouTube. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Y'all have a good one.